Hey, what's up? My name is John Bonjour. I am the writer and artist of the comic Edge of Bordertown, which you can read for free on johnbonart.com. And today, our ARTCOURAGEMENT of the day is how to actually practice drawing. Because I everywhere you go, everywhere you ask, on all the forums, on all the Reddits, on all the 4chan, is 4chan still a thing? I genuinely do not know. On all of the forums that you may find, people are always asking, how do you get better at art? How do you succeed at art? And this is specifically for visual art, although I don't think that it only applies to visual art, but I only have the experience in visual art and a little bit the videography kind of stuff. So let's just keep it to visual art for this one, but assume you can apply similar things to the rest of the kind of arts. You see these questions that are like, hey, how do I get better at drawing? How do I get better at doing art? And every response is either join my class or practice. And the join my class people are all a scam. Literally everyone is a scam. I don't know if that's true. I'm sure there's good art classes out there and good people who can teach you that kind of stuff, but finding them is tough because everybody wants to make a class because it's good passive income. That's my own side thing. Practice. People just say, just draw all the time. Draw more, which is great. But like, let's say you're learning how to walk and you think that you should walk one left foot and on your right knee. And you think that's just how it goes. And you're just up and down hobbling and no one tells you otherwise. And you just walking more is not gonna get you any better at walking. If you've never seen anyone walking and if you've never experienced walking yourself, you're never gonna get better by doing it just wrong over and over and over. If anything, you'll deeply ingrain the habit of walking very wrong and you're gonna throw your hip out, and then you'll probably have a very sad life where nobody wants to walk with you and no one walks down the beach with you because it's impossible to knee walk down the beach. There's just no doing it. I'm getting off track. But drawing is the same way in a lot of ways. If you don't see other people drawing and if you don't intake other drawings and if you don't make some effort to learn the right way to do it, you're probably not gonna achieve what you want. Now, if you want to have a specific style that is lab grown to be exclusively your thing, then that may be the way to do it, honestly, is just by doing it wrong over and over. I think a lot of very successful artists can do that, but if you want to learn how to draw, let's say comics, because that's my main thing, if you want to learn how to draw comics well, you can't do it by not reading comics, and you can't do it by not studying how comics are drawn. There are rules to all things in art that can absolutely be broken. They're not law. They're not scriptural, okay? But they are rules, and they're rules for a reason. And so learning to do the actual rules is important. And that brings me to, I guess, step one of how to learn to draw better, how to actually practice drawing. Find a book, like you know how they used to make books? Find one of those. You may still have a library near you if you haven't fully entered the horrific digital age. And if you do, I guarantee you there's a good, solid anatomy book. There are lots of great anatomy books. Find one of them and just start drawing things from the anatomy books. Like, just get that down, get that right. Or if you don't want to draw people, learn anatomy of animals. And if you don't want to draw animals, learn the anatomy of the world. And by that I mean nature. Learn how leaves fit on trees. Learn how bikes come together. Just find things that are real and draw them. And also find books on how to draw things. Like, if you can find a how to draw birds book, your life will be forever changed. I promise you. Because I found a how to draw birds book, and now I can kind of draw birds. That's not come into play a lot, but when it does come into play, I always remember that how to draw birds book. After that, I think you can move into like a general drawing anatomy book. You can move into a more specific, if you want to learn to draw comics, find a drawing comics book. Find a drawing comics YouTube channel. Like, it doesn't have to be a book. Highly recommend a book, but it doesn't have to be a book. You can find all of this information. It's just actually looking at the information and sticking to it long enough to just draw it. And the first drawing you make is gonna be bad. Like, it's gonna be actual ass. I know, well, maybe you're a savant and it's gonna be amazing. But for me, the first drawing I did was ass. It was terrible. It's one of the worst things that a human has ever created. I just think that's part of it. I do think there is truth to you do have to just keep doing it over and over. But if you just keep doing it over and over without trying to improve and basing that improvement on other things, real things, then you're not really gonna get anywhere. You're just gonna do the same thing over and over again, which does not help you. There's no benefit to that. People have a hard time drawing hands. I have a hard time drawing hands because there's so many phalanges. There's so many pieces to them. It's like tentacles, but if the tentacles had sticks in them. And everyone knows what a hand looks like, and so when you draw a hand wrong, everyone sees it as wrong, which is kind of a horrible thing. It's kind of one of the worst things in the world. If you draw a tree kind of wrong or a deep sea creature kind of wrong, people sort of let it go. If you draw hands wrong, people are like, well, I've got those, and they don't look anything like that. Which means you need to just look at hands. You need to understand the basic shapes of hands and what makes them move and like how they work and how they move, which is good because you have those. Those are easy. But you can also, sorry, I did that. That's crazy. You can also just look up, there's books on how to draw hands. There's videos on how to draw hands. There's lots of ways to learn how to draw hands. The point that I'm making is just practicing isn't enough. You have to actually practice by basing it off of people. The best artists in the world got good because they were apprentices of other master craftsmen, and that is true to a more infinite degree than it has ever been, because now we can be apprentices of many different artists and learn so much. And I understand that can kind of make it hard to remember what to learn, but just start at the basics and practice base forms, base shapes. You can also go all the way back and do like a gesture drawing class. I took a gesture drawing class. It was one of the best days, one of the best times of my life. It was an incredible time, and I learned so much. And also, the girl that I had a crush on at the time was in it, and it was just after high school? It was in high school. And she was in it, and I still didn't ask her out because I was too scared. But don't worry about it, it all worked out. I'm married, not to her, someone else. The other kind of key piece to practicing, I think, is yes, repetition, yes, learning from sources, learning from real life. All of that is good. Also, try out just a bunch of shit. Try out as much as you can, honestly. Like that has been one of the most influential things in my art career so far, is just trying different things. I'm trying to learn to paint, learning to watercolor, learning to sculpt, even though I hate it. I'm so bad at it and I hate it. But I think it's important to know that to a degree, to try these things, to try something that you've never done before, because it really fleshes out your entire creative side. Like, I shot a short film recently that we still haven't edited because I have some very non-committal friends, but we shot a short film and it was so much fun, and it taught me so much about framing and about how you can get a shot and about like all of these filmmaking things that I've then applied to my comic and applied to some illustration work that I've done. It's the more things you practice, the more things you kind of put your fingers in, gross, the more types of art you try, the better you will be at your art, whichever focus you choose to have. Obviously, there's moderation in all of this. Don't practice forever. Don't just draw from pictures forever. I mean, you can, but try to move outside of drawing from photos or from real life and into your imagination, because that's where a lot of the fun is, or at least has been for me. And obviously, don't try so many things that you don't have time to focus on the thing that is important to you. But having some variation, having real practice from actual teachers, and if you can get an actual teacher in person, not someone trying to sell a class to you online that you can just download, but someone in person who can say, hey, this looks good, try drawing it like this. It'll change your life. It's a game changer. It'll completely restructure the way you feel about art and the social dynamics behind art, which are so important. I could make a whole other video on it. But practicing is hard, and it's worth it. And have fun. So if you get tired of whatever you're practicing, draw something fun. And if you get tired of whatever you're drawing, do something else for a little bit. It is okay to practice and not practice religiously. It's okay to do some practice and give yourself a break. Just give yourself like 5 minutes of practice a day, and by the end of the year, you'll have whatever 365 times 5 is, that many minutes, and whatever that turns into hours. I'm not going to do that math, but you'll have a series of hours of practice under your belt. So the more you can do, the better, but don't burn yourself out. As I do with all of these things, I'm going to end on a prayer, but before I do that, you guys are amazing, and just keep making art, keep doing cool stuff, keep sharing that with the world, and I promise it will all be worth it. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Father, I thank you so much for the opportunity to draw and to practice. Thank you for giving us these studies that we can do diligently. Thank you for showing us such a creative and beautiful world that makes us want to reflect it in art. I pray for each and every person watching this video that they would find peace in their art and healing, and that they would find you through it. In your name, and in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, I pray, amen. Thanks for watching this video. Go make some art, and have an awesome day.